All right, I'm here with my guest today, Destin Baker. We're gonna talk sports today, and specifically, we're gonna try to get into this little reclassification thing. And we're just kind of looking at it and kind of want to, hear his thoughts on it. And we're gonna talk about some of the things that's going on with this reclassification thing in high school sports. So, what's going on, Mr. Destin Baker? How's everything going?
Good man, just been hanging out today. Just been trying to stay, like I said, like we talked about earlier, trying to stay warm. It's man, these daggum heaters and air conditioners working hard in the next couple of days.
Man, what you talking about, man? It's something else. Uh,
Woo,
all we gotta do is just try to stay warm as much as possible.
that's right. That's right.
And so, looking into this, man, something drastic has happened with uh, Alabama high school athletics, and a situation where um, the reclassification came out, and supposedly, look here, where we have uh, 1A, double A, and 1 through 6A classifications. It looks to me like they have put the biggest schools in 6A. They have put the smallest, where they have put the private schools in a particular bracket, and they put the smaller schools, 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, and then 5A into a particular bracket. So we're going to kind of look at some of this, and I just kind of want to get your opinion on the new reclassification, kind of what do you think motivated uh, Alabama Athletic Association to do this?
Well, I think it was mostly the private school stuff about them being able to recruit and stuff.
Okay.
I think that's what brought it on, but I'm not really sure how I feel about the reclassification. It's just the some. I think it helped some schools, and then some schools it didn't. Um, like if you're 7A though, man, you're happy you dropped to 6A. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But all the 7A schools are in 6A.
yeah,
So that makes the schools that was already in 6A have to compete more. You know what I mean? So it's just a big. But yeah, I really think it was all about the private schools being able to recruit. But like we talked about last time,
yeah,
schools like Hoover's a public school, and Hoover's been recruiting for years.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it might not have been, you think, as big an issue for the big schools, but it might have been more of an issue for your smaller 1A, 2A, 3A schools, you think?
Yeah, because like I was looking at the private school bracket, and man, it's tough, man. Like you got a school like I don't know Northside Methodist, a small private school, having to go play like St. Paul's. You put 20 or 30 on the field, and St. Paul's has 50 or 60 or 70. You
Yeah,
know it, and a lot of these schools, a lot of these brackets, man, it's bad because their old classification they wasn't having to travel that far, but the new classification they are having to travel. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um, so I seen one bracket like I think one of the private school brackets, man, like if you're in Dothan and you're playing an away game and you're going to St. Paul, you got to go to Mobile, or if you're playing all these other schools, you might have a 3 hour drive every Friday or, on your away games. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's tough. Now, I don't think they limited who you played. I think they limited your particular postseason play, right? Is it postseason play and area play?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure. Um, I haven't really, honestly, tell you the truth. I tried to read into it, man, but
Yeah,
I really couldn't, honestly. But I mean, I think the like you have to play your 7 region games, and then your other three. I think. I mean, well, if you're 6A, you can't play up. So if you're 6A, you're either going to play 6A schools or maybe one or two 5A schools.
Yeah.
But, that goes back to like we talked about last week, Headland and Abbeville. Headland dropped to 4A
Yeah.
and Abbeville dropped to 1A, but
Yeah.
they're still rivals, so is that rivalry going to stay? I think it will
Yeah.
because Abbeville and Headland's been playing for so long.
Yeah.
But to tell you the truth, man, like I know how big a rival Abbeville and Headland is. I really do.
Yeah.
But when it starts getting a big gap like that, you know what I mean? I don't think they should play. I mean, I understand the rivalry. I got it. I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
I know how it is.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard for. I mean, I'm not saying a 1A school can't compete with a 4A school. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But it's going to be really hard, if you're Abbeville, because 1A football is different than 4A football.
Yeah.
It's more. I think like the A's classification stuff like that doesn't really matter like in a sport like basketball. But I think it's more prevalent. Like you can see it more in like football. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree. Now it makes a difference in basketball, but I can see how it could be a more transformative with numbers. Why football is a big deal. You got more people on the team than you have on the basketball team. So I can definitely see more of a deal.
Oh yeah.
It does make a deal, but it's more of a deal in football.
Yeah,
Something.
it's like I said, it's all about numbers. I mean, numbers matter, like in football, like on the sideline. In a way, football's changed a lot. I know you remember what was it, 06, I think, 05, 06, when Pike County won a state championship and they had like 16 players or something.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think that's the year they beat Abbeville 91
Yeah.
to nothing or something.
Yeah, they had that top quarterback.
But I mean, so back. Oh yeah, man, those guys were something else. But that was like back then. I think now numbers matter more. You know what I'm saying? Like when Abbeville and Headland play, I'm thinking Abbeville probably have 30, maybe.
If they're lucky. I mean, you may
maybe
have 30.
30. Headland's
30
gonna have 50.
Yeah, 30 guys dressing out, but actually of those that's going to actually play is maybe
Yeah.
20, 25,
Oh yeah. And and Abbeville probably dresses out, 8th graders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just so they'll have more bodies on the sidelines.
Yeah. They probably dress out a lot of middle school guys. You know what I mean? So true.
But yeah, I just think, a lot of it has to do. The bad part about the reclassification, like I said, is the traveling thing. Like if you're having to travel, I can't. Gosh, I had a sheet of paper with all the regions on it. But anyway, like like I said, that Montgomery Academy or the Northside Methodist region.
Yeah.
If you go to Mobile, if those Mobile schools come to you, it's good because those schools are going to travel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you're from over here, you're not going to want to travel over there, like, because, you might have a schedule where you play, St. James, and then the very next week you play somebody like Trinity, which is in Montgomery, and then you might play Montgomery Academy again in Montgomery 3 straight weeks in a row. That's a lot of traveling in 3 weeks.
It is. I tell you. So they like I said, try to find out a way where they can play more local.
Yeah.
Because, I'm just thinking like this. I'm not exactly sure. Probably what they should do, man, is I don't know how they have it separated right now. If Northside Methodist, Houston Academy, maybe let me think of the other schools in that area. All of them should be in the same area, maybe. That way they
can,
play against each other because they're right there in both of them. So versus you having to go all the way to Mobile or to Montgomery or.
Oh yeah. Well, I think if I remember right, I think in Abbeville's region, their closest game is Barber County.
Yeah.
And then, I think they got to travel to. I think Brantley's in that region. That's a good drive. Who else? Brantley, Abbeville, Barber County. I think Houston County moved up.
Yeah.
man, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know there's a lot of good schools. Oh, Elba, I think Elba dropped the 1A in that region.
Yep.
That's a good little job. I mean, it's not. I ain't gonna say it's close, but it's not. I mean, it's not real far, but I mean, it's still a good little drive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a good little drive, man. So like I said, that distance definitely plays a role, man. Definitely plays a. I know a lot of private schools used to complain about that competitive balance factor. You know how you win so much you had to move up. I mean, I know that used to be an issue they didn't like.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
by taking that out, do you think that helped any, or moved?
Um, I think there was a couple schools during the last reclassification that moved up or moved from AISA to AHSAA. I think it was three schools or something like that.
Yeah,
And I think they were thinking that the regions would stay the same.
yeah,
But now that they do this, now the regions are way more competitive. You know what I mean?
yeah, they are.
Because if you're Glenwood, Glenwood's been, they were a powerhouse pretty much in 2 and 3 AISA.
Yeah,
And then they move over to AHSAA, and now they're having to play, like I said again, having to play St. James, Trinity, Montgomery Academy.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it's just, it, I guess I thought, honestly, to tell you the truth, I thought that the AISA was going to collapse because so many schools was wanting to go.
yeah,
But now it might be where those schools, maybe the smaller private schools, want to leave the AHSA and go to AISA. I mean, I don't know if it'll happen,
yeah,
but I mean, they're probably thinking about it. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. And I guess that's the big difference, like you're saying, is the small schools have a issue, um, because they ain't even compete with bigger private schools. Trying to compete with the bigger private schools. And I guess the bigger private. What's the difference between a small and a bigger private school, man?
Um,
Or
well, it's all about like Jesus. It's all about numbers. Like enrollment size. Basically, that's really the only big issue is the enrollment. I think a 1A private school has, I want to say K through 12, or 1A private school has maybe 150, 130, 150 kids, maybe.
yeah,
I could be wrong, but it's something like that. They got it broke down some way like that, I but I don't know, man. I think this is worth. I think this helps the bigger schools, but hurts the small schools. You know what I mean?
got you. So I know another thing that kind of deleted too was the Choose Act. Are you familiar with the Choose Act?
Um, I just heard about it. Not, I mean, I've heard of it, but not 100%.
Okay, so what the Choose Act is where you can get grant money from the state to go to whatever private school you want to go to, and once you get that grant money, go to that private school, you're automatically eligible to play. And there was a big spout with the governor about whether that particular athlete should be able to play right away.
Yeah.
And so
Hmm.
this kind of eliminates that. And so you don't really have to worry about it. If you're a private school, you can go play right then. Um, and you won't be punished for your eligibility and any of that stuff.
Hmm.
So if
Yeah,
they
that's
get,
pretty.
yeah,
Wow.
let's say Lakeside gets a player from Eufaula, and they get the money to do that, go, they can play immediately. You know what I mean? Like, or Houston Academy or something like that gets a player from Dothan, they can play immediately. They don't have to sit out. They want, if you go transfer somewhere,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's out. So they don't have to do that no more.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's kind of like Sorry about that. I'm walking real quick, but
Good.
I yeah, the Choose Act. It seems like it could be a good thing.
Yeah,
If that way you don't have to. It's like recruiting. Like I said, if you're going to recruit, that helps you more with recruiting. Because you might get a kid like you saying like Lakeside. Like
yeah,
Lakeside might be like, okay, we want this kid from Barber County, or we want this kid from blah 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 place with their parents can't afford it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like NIL actually,
Yeah.
um,
Very.
because like you could say, hey, you know, we want you to come over here. I know your parents don't have the money and all this, but we have X amount of money we can use for you to come over here to pay your tuition or pay whatever. I mean, that's the honest to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
We did something like that when I was in school. It wasn't called the Choose Act. It was called basically a scholarship.
Yeah.
Um, that's the only reason I left Abbeville. I should have stayed, but
Yeah.
that's the only reason I left. My parents couldn't have afforded to send me and both my sisters to a private school.
Yeah.
But so you have somebody that sponsors you basically.
Okay.
That's like, hey, you know, if you come over here and you play football, we'll pay you and your sister's tuitions. Or if you play baseball, we'll pay your sister's tuitions. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason I went. If something like that wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have been able to go.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, like I said, man, that gave you opportunity, man, to be able to play football, man, and and being in a great situation. You know what I mean? And so, if that allows for a kid to be able to go to a great situation, man, then hey, that's a good thing. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree. Like, I know sometimes it's about even I don't. I'm trying to think what how I'm trying to say this. Like I said, it's like NIL and it's like the highest bidder, but you could use that like since private schools can recruit. Like if you can use that, you know, you can send them on visits and everything, and but then you can start saying, hey, you know, well, we need this guy over here wants to come and he's a star quarterback, or he's not, you know, or this is the guy we need, or this is the guy we need, you know, and we want to go ahead and get him before, you know, a private school like ACA gets him or somebody like that gets him. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I don't with the Choose Act, is it like unlimited for like for players, or is it like is there a cap on it?
I think it's unlimited, man.
Oh, okay, cool.
Anybody in the state can use it. It don't have to be an athlete. It could be just just a regular kid that just wants to go to another school. He don't want to go to his public school. He wants to go to a private school. He can get that money and go to whatever private school he want to go to.
Wow. I didn't wow, okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's good then.
yeah, yeah. I thought we might have more private schools getting a bigger enrollment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's all about, you know, what how the school system is in their area, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um and their parents are like, you know, well, we don't, you know, this school system's not very good, or you know, blah blah blah. Or we're trying to find something better for our son to get more recognition. You know, I mean, I ain't saying you don't get no recognition at small schools. I'm not saying that,
yeah.
but you know, if you're a big school or whatever, you get recognition, and you might be at a big school, and you might be good, but there might be, you know, 6 or 8 players that are way better than you. You know what I mean? So you're getting kind of pushed to the side. So you're like, well, there's a private school on the other side of the city. You know, I could go over there right now and play. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
So that it's gonna. So it's. I think that's what'll. I didn't know anything about the Choose Act, but now that I think about it, it'll probably make football or make it more competitive. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Because, like you said, you could pick and choose.
yeah.
Um, I mean, I'm not. You know, there's not 100% certainty they're going to come, but it still has it in the back of their mind. Well, dang, you know, maybe I should go over there. You know, I've been here for 2 years or whatever, and I'm a quarterback, and I'm third or fourth string quarterback, and I ain't gonna, you know, I'll never get to play. But if I go to this school over here, you know, I might start day one.
That's it. That's it.
So that's good. I'm glad. That's a good thing. I
Yeah,
didn't know that existed. I'm glad that exists.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Another thing, there was a few private schools who are in favor of this separation from public schools with the new reclassification, like Montgomery Catholic. Their coach, he said that he thought it would be safer competing against schools with similar enrollment size. So, what do you think he's coming from on that? Um,
Uh, I mean, I don't.
Heard of Montgomery Catholic, right?
Yeah, yeah, I have. We we played them. When I was at Northside Methodist, we played them. They were in our region.
Yeah,
Man, that school's done gotten huge, man. Because
big, big
when I was at Abbeville,
yeah,
our sophomore year, when we dropped to 2A, no, when we dropped to 3A, sorry,
yeah.
Catholic was in our region, and Catholic was 3A back then, and now they are they 5A? I think they're
I
5A. I think.
think
Yeah, that school is grown, man. But anyway, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess there's so many. See, like that school size of Montgomery, you in three of your region games, you might not have to travel that far. I mean, because Catholics up there,
it is.
and back then that region was Catholic, Trinity, Montgomery Academy, and Alabama Christian.
Yeah,
All four of those schools are within,
yeah,
I don't know, 5 miles of each other, 6 miles of each other.
yeah. So true. And I think now they've even added what St. James in there and some other
Yeah,
teams.
yeah. I forgot about. I always forget about St. James. Yeah, St. James. I feel like there's one I'm missing.
Yeah, I think it's
But
one of
yeah, St. James and all the Montgomery schools, man, they're all pretty close to each other. So that's so you're not traveling that far if you live in Montgomery or outside of Montgomery. But
yeah,
yeah, I've Catholic, man. Whew, they've gotten they've gotten good, man, real competitive and everything.
yeah, most definitely, man. They have some top guys, man, coming out, man. Top guys. So we're looking at these schools, man, and I think this started back 20, maybe 20, 25 years ago, where they started allowing private schools into the Alabama um, High School Athletic Association. Before that, they did not allow private schools in. They started allowing them in. Now it's kind of went back to the old ways, um, what it was. But a lot of people have said, "Hey, man, this is still not a fair thing because of the money that people have to spend for travel." Um, they've also said that flexibility of the schedule. Private school might be doing games, things of that nature. So do you think like you said earlier, some of the private schools might start going back to Asia, or do you think now we're gonna just kind of see how it works out?
Um, I think for these 2 years, it'll probably be see how it goes. Um, Now that I think about it, I don't think that those small schools will go back to AISA because there's more money in private and public school ball. But I think a lot of it's going to have to do with like I said, competitiveness.
Mm.
Because the way they got the regions in 2 more years, if the regions if they don't do something in 2 years, I think they should try. Trying to think how I want to word it. Basically, make the regions more like if there's a school that's fairly close, you know what I'm saying? Keep the driving distance, because if you have a Thursday night game and you
Yeah,
have to go all the way to Mobile on a school night, you know what I'm saying? That's a 3 hour drive there, a 3 hour drive back. So you're getting back late and you still got to go to school Friday. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Um, so I mean that doesn't really happen a lot. Usually your Thursday night game is a fairly close game. Like as far as driving distance, usually sometimes there's exceptions, but I think usually they're pretty like close by. So um but yeah, I I think those private schools are kind of like a wait and see kind of thing. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
I mean, because I may be completely wrong. I mean, Northside Methodist may go up there and compete, may go down there and compete with St. Paul's or
yeah,
compete with Trinity or compete with St. James. I mean,
yeah,
the chances of it happening are slim, but anything can happen in football.
yeah, yeah,
Um, so and then I think the revenue that, like I said, the revenue earlier that would come in, the money from like the visitors, because like I said, all those schools are going to travel, and if you're Northside Methodist, you're playing at Rip Hughes. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So if you have St. Paul's or somebody come to Rip Hughes, they're going to fill up that stadium,
Yeah, yeah,
and they're going to bring and there's going to be more money in the concession stand. There's going to be more money. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I think it'll help out a way. It'll help out the smaller schools in that situation.
well,
Because they're going to travel. It's not like you're playing a school that's going to bring you know 50 people in the stands.
yeah,
Like St. Paul's is going to fill it up. Montgomery Academy is going to fill it up. Catholic,
yeah,
St. James, Trinity, all those schools like that are going to fill up stadiums.
yeah,
Um, so I think that's the good thing that would be coming from it. Would probably be more money. Um, oh, I forgot about parking. Yeah, a lot of schools pay. You have to pay to park too. You know what I'm saying? So
well,
there's that too. Um, so yeah, I think that's a good thing. Would be the money side of it.
yeah. Let me ask you this question too, man. About recruiting, man. Private school recruiting. Do you think they'll still be able to recruit? Let me give you one scenario. Be able to recruit like Montgomery Catholic and I want to say Trinity. Montgomery Catholic, Trinity, and Montgomery Academy. They have recruited so well, especially like in the city of Montgomery, that now a lot of the public schools in the city of Montgomery can't even contend with them because they're getting all of the top players. Like Montgomery, I believe, state championship the last 2 years. They didn't win it this year, but the last 2 or 3 years, they won the state championship, 4A, 5A state championship, and they had recruited so well to the point that like I said, the schools within the city could not compete with them. Just the city schools could not compete with Montgomery County at all. So you believe that the recruiting may change? Because when you look at some of these facilities that Montgomery Catholic or Montgomery Academy or Trinity have, their facilities are just way nicer than the public school facilities are.
Oh yeah, man. Like I
Uh,
said, I mean, it was 20 years ago or 20 something years ago when we went up there to play Catholic up there. I mean, even back then though, man, for a 3A school, like their field was like field turf, and they had real nice bleachers and a nice press box, and I was like, it looked like a little like a junior college stadium, honestly. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, those schools up there, man. It's like the city of Atlanta. There's
yeah,
so much talent in the city of Atlanta. If you're a private school in the city of Atlanta, you can build, or whatever, you can build your whole team in Atlanta.
yeah,
Like Montgomery, you know, the thing, Catholic and all those schools like that have been good every year. So if you live up there and you want to play and be good, that's a school you're going to go to. Those other schools, I don't think Jeff Davis exists anymore. I think it changed to something else.
yeah. To
Jag, yeah, Jag, and then Robert E. Lee changed to something else or something.
to
But anyways, oh yeah. But yeah, man, like I think all those private schools are going to keep recruiting, because all those kids up there are going to want to play. You know what I mean? And they know, well, if I go to Montgomery Academy, there's going to be a chance, or if I go to Catholic or something like that, there's going to be a chance that I play. I could play football or whatever. But if I stay over here, I might not ever go to the playoffs. But if I go to Catholic, I might be going to playoffs every year.
every year.
So
Every,
I don't think that it'll. I could be completely wrong, but I don't think it'll change the recruiting. I think if it does, it's not going to be like that much of a drop off. You know what I mean?
gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Um, taking a look at Georgia, versus Alabama. I know you kind of spent a little time in Georgia. Um, their system and the way they have their system set up now. Do they have like the private schools separate from the public schools?
Yeah, I think they have. I know they have a G. Theirs is called GHSA, and I think they have a GISA. But I don't think that the. I'm trying to remember. I don't think the GISA is as big, has as many schools as the AISA, because I think a lot of schools in Georgia, a lot of those private schools do compete in public school ball. I
Okay.
think.
Okay.
But a lot of those schools over there in Georgia, man, like a lot of those private schools in Georgia, dude, look like a daggum like college stadiums, man. Like
Wow.
they're just huge, and there's so much money in the state of Georgia, because they have the Hope Scholarship. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
if that's, I mean, I'm not trying to get into anything, but what I'm saying is the reason Georgia has that kind of stuff is because they have the lottery,
Yeah.
you know, and that's why if you go to Georgia too, the roads are a lot better most of the time than Alabama. That's
Yeah.
because they use that lottery money for that and for the Hope Scholarship.
Yeah.
You know, so the only chance you may get to even go to college is getting the Hope Scholarship.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not saying like I ain't trying to get into nothing. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
if Alabama had a lottery or something like that, they might be able to compete with these other states for money. Because every state that touches Alabama has a lottery or a casino.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's more money, man. There's more money in the state of Georgia than you got all these, you know, like you go to Rip Hughes Stadium. Rip Hughes Stadium is nice,
Yeah. It is.
but if you go to a school like, let's see, I'm trying to think of a smaller Georgia school, maybe like uh, Mitchell or not Mitchell Baker, maybe like Mitchell Baker.
Yeah.
They're like a 3A school in Georgia, but their stadium looks like a 6A school.
Wow.
So it's so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, man. Like this, we just need more money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I had kind of forget. Georgia have that lottery like that, man, and they're able to. The public schools are probably, just off as well off as the private schools are, because they have so much money within the school system because of that lottery. Yeah. You know, Alabama.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Um, yeah, I mean, I think they still do recruiting in Georgia and stuff too. But I think it's more of you know, like we were talking about earlier. Like Hoover's been recruiting for gosh, however many years. You know what I mean, and everything. But um, it's just the state of Alabama, man, is. I think I read something. I don't know if it's true, but I think I read something that Alabama's ranked like 49th in all the 49 out of 50 states or something,
Yeah.
and like academics or something. I'm not sure if I got the right numbers. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, you close.
if
You
that's
close.
true, then that's not good.
Yeah, yeah, ain't good, man. Ain't good. You definitely close on that. Um, been that way for a while. Been that way for a while.
Yeah, it's because and like coaches in Georgia get paid way more than coaches in Alabama. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, if you take a big school like, I mean, of course, if you're at a 6A or 7A school in Alabama, like Thompson, Hoover, like that, you're going to get paid. But I mean, I think the highest paid high school coach in Georgia makes like 130 a year or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, and that's all they do. In Alabama, you gotta, if you're a coach, you're gonna teach a
Hmm.
class or blah blah blah. In
Yeah,
Georgia, that's all you do. You're just a coach, and you don't have to coach football, baseball, basketball. You just coach one sport.
yeah,
So, um, but we got kind of off topic.
yeah, yeah, man. No problem. But but yeah, 100%, man. When I look at those schools, man, there's no different. Like I said, they have Georgia has a different system with Alabama, man. A lot different standards. So Alabama has this new system, new reclassification that we're working with. It's going to be experimented upon, and we're going to try to have to figure some things out. Because I know there's still some more wrinkles in it because for the private schools, who they're, I know they got their areas and all that, but how would they be able to figure out, okay, uh, this school would play this school and the tiebreakers and all that stuff has to be figured in. Um,
Yeah, man, that stuff gets so daggum complicated, man. Yeah, it's just no matter what happens, somebody's going to be upset. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to make everybody happy all the
you're
time.
right. You said,
But even if you have, it's like the college football playoff. When we had four, people wanted to expand.
yeah,
Okay, now we have 12. Well, people want to expand. well, then we're going to have 16, or whatever. And then it's going to keep going up and up and up and up. And
Yep.
then people's going to be, it's like, oh man, well, maybe we should have did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you said, I think it's like a trial and error thing to see how this works and everything. And then I think, I think initially their plan was to try to make more competitive divisions, maybe, and keep the private schools from winning because, like a lot of, I think Mars Hill Baptist has won 2A or 1A 3 years in a row or 4 years in a row or something.
Mm-hmm.
And people kept getting complaining, about public schools can't compete with them and blah blah blah. And but my philosophy with that is, just play. I mean, all you can do is play ball. You don't know if you're going to win or not. It's just. I mean, I understand. You can definitely tell a mismatch. You know what I mean? You can. I mean, there's going to be like that in every school and every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're trying. I think they're trying to make it as competitive as they can.
Mhm.
But regardless, you could have like the region you fall is in. You fall dropped to 4A, but so did Headland, and so
Yeah.
did Andalusia.
Yeah.
And so did that's and Andalusia's won a state championship before. You
Yeah.
fall is pretty good every year.
Yeah.
Headland's good or decent. You know what I'm saying? So it's just uh, it. There's not. I don't think there's a perfect fix, man. I think it's going to take a few years for them just to iron everything out and get as close to right as possible. But I think it's going to take a couple years.
Yeah. Yeah. And just looking at it, each sport is going to be different. Like I said, football from basketball to um, baseball. Each sport is going to be a little different. Going to be different effects. Uh, like if you look at basketball, man, uh, you can compete in some of those a little bit better than you could in football because of the numbers. You got all the numbers, man, and it does make a difference in basketball. But now, because like basketball, you can get that one player, uh, he can make all the difference in your whole team. Football, it's going to take a little bit more than that one player. You may,
Oh yeah, that's right. It's more because football, like I said earlier, like you said, it's the numbers. Football, you got to have 11 on the field, and basketball, you only got to have 5.
right?
So on basketball team, you have what 11 players, maybe
Yeah,
something like that, maybe.
yeah, 11.
And then in football, you're going to have. I mean, you have to have 11, but on a normal day, you'd want at least 22. You know what I'm saying? So, so like when you have less people on the court on the or not the field, but when you have less players, like you said, one player could stand out more. Like one player can take over a basketball game. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
You know that more than I do. But
yes sir.
um, even if you watch basketball, you could have somebody, get hot at the 3 point line there. Somebody, that just can't miss. You can keep giving them the ball, so you look up and there's 2 minutes to go in the game and they've got 40 something points.
Yeah,
You're just like, God, where'd this guy come from?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Most definitely, man. That definitely makes a difference. And then also, man, when we're looking at these schools, man, a lot of people don't think about it. All the money, like saying in public schools, you start talking about tickets, you start talking about concessions, start talking about all that stuff, man. All of that adds up. I mean, in some of these towns, they thrive off of. Let's look at like Abbeville. Abbeville, like we was there, it was like 4A, went to 3A. Now 20, I think they got like 100 and what, maybe, you know, 20 something students I read in the newspaper.
Yeah, I think something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's difficult for them to compete against bigger schools because of the population is so low. You know.
That's right. That's yeah. It's you know a lot of these towns. Like you said, there might be only one public high school in a town like Abbeville. That they get all the revenue. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
what if you're in a school, or what if you're in a town that has multiple high schools? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Then what happens? One school's going to get pushed to the side.
yeah,
Um, it's like everything's about money, though, man. You know what I mean? Everything's about money. Whether I don't know, man. It's just it's going to be about money. So I don't think that this will make any of the ticket prices go up. I don't think, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Um, but a lot of people, a lot of places are doing not even where you can get like tickets at the gate. You got to get it before,
Yeah.
and they do everything over the phone and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people can't do that, So, but I mean, if you look at a school like Abbeville, Abbeville doesn't have. I mean, Abbeville Stadium's old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love Abbeville Stadium though. I love it. Always have.
Oh yeah.
But
Man.
it's older. In the locker room. Well, the tornado destroyed the locker room, so they had to get a new locker room. And
Yeah.
the press box ain't as big as other schools. But Abbeville gets by.
Yeah.
But the good thing with being from a small school like this is if you do go play a big school like I don't know, like I said, Elba dropped to 1A, but I think Elba, as far as like the way the facility, I don't know if you've ever been to Elba, but they have a nice stadium too. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is,
Yeah, man, it's nice.
if you get to play in those stadiums like that, man,
Yeah.
you're like, man, you know what I mean? Like it's
Jeez.
awesome to get to play in those stadiums. I mean, you might get beat pretty bad,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like I was always told, like going back to the recruiting thing, if you want to play college ball, if you're from a small town, you think you're not getting recognized. If you go to a school like that, and if there's college scout, you don't know there's college scouts there. If there's college scouts there looking at another player, and you stand out, they could be like, "Well, man, well maybe we need to look at this guy." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That is so true, man. And Abbeville is a small town, but man, you gotta look at it, man. We got what 2 or 3 guys, I think, that were able to make it, to the NFL from Abbeville. You know what I mean? And so
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
even
yeah,
though
yeah,
small town,
yeah. And that's awesome, man.
they came from a small town, they was able to make it. So
I mean, and how many players in basketball has made it to the NBA? You know what I'm
you know
saying?
what I mean? And in just even college, you know what I mean? Right now, you're looking at some of these college guys; they are very successful. So
Oh yeah, it's
NBA, just
Abbeville went through a stretch there for a while. Like when I played, you got to have at these smaller schools, you got to have a coach that's going to be willing to send off your tapes. You know what I mean? To be on your side.
that's
And
it.
Abbeville's had that. The last few years.
Yeah,
And I'm glad of that because when I was in school, my mama had to do all my recruiting. She sent off all my tapes and everything. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And you're supposed to be, you want to help people out. You know what I'm saying? So if you want a coach that's going to do that, and Abbeville went through a stretch there for a while where we didn't have that.
yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah, man. I can remember, man. Like when I was coaching, man, I used to use it to motivate my guys. And I used to tell them, "Hey, man, I'm gonna fight for you, tooth and nail." Now, a lot of people argue, whether it's the coach's job to be, trying to help you get a scholarship. A lot of people say, "Hey, the parents have to do a role," but I think it's a role on everybody.
I
So,
agree.
I would definitely call people, but what I would try to do was put my guys in spaces where I knew they were going to be seen. So I wanted to play tournaments where I knew there were going to be college coaches there. I wanted to
So,
get, play different schools where I knew college coaches would be there. Then I would call them and say, "Hey, man, come take a look at my guys. You know, I got some guys I think maybe could, play at that next level. Just come check them out." And then I would also send tapes, things. So I think it's a role that we need to start going over with our parents, as coaches. I'm going to do this as a coach, and you should be able to do this as a parent. And
that's right. That's
in that,
right.
we might be successful getting your kid a scholarship, or hey, it might just not be, he might not make it at that level. You know what I mean? So
Well, it's all about, like you said, it's the coaches and everything like that, but it's everything, it's because if you're a I mean, I've been through college recruiting visits because when you sit down with that coach, they're going to talk, you're not going to, it's going to sound crazy, but this, a college coach is going to talk to your teachers. They're going to talk to your principal. They're going to
yeah,
look at your grades. They're going to
yep,
look at the practice film. They're going to
yep,
talk to you about, well, is this guy on time at practice? Does he You know, how's he practice? How's he playing the game? How's he conduct himself off the field? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it matters. Attitude matters, man. Like a lot of people pick the player over the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, like I always tell people, and the way I grew up, you know, if you don't have your word, you don't have anything.
Well, nothing.
Um, because you know, just do what you say and say what you do. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Um,
I agree.
but you know, don't complain. If you come to practice, it's like, you know, I don't like, well, why ain't I getting playing time?
That's it.
Well, you know, why'd you fail that test? You know, or
Yeah.
why are you acting up in class? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's little things like that, you know, and but once you get everything together, man, and you start receiving those offers, you get that first offer in the mail, you're just like, wow, maybe what I am doing is the right thing. You know what I mean? And then you might have that might be the only offer you get, or you might have two offers, or three offers, or
Yeah.
four offers, or
Yeah.
five offers, or six offers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree, man. And like I said, it's a blessing, man, to have a coach that is going to go there, man, and go the extra mile for you. People don't realize that, you know the difference when you don't have a coach like that, like you said, and when you was there, you didn't really have that, and so it makes a huge difference, man. To
That's right. Well, you know, uh, I never played basketball, or whatever, but you know, I've always been told, and I saw it myself. You know, Coach Knight would fight for his players. You know what I'm saying? And Coach Knight, I mean, he was. I love Coach Knight to death, man.
yeah,
Um,
do
but
man,
he, you know, he really cared about his players and he helped them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, 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 man. It definitely takes a coach, man, to do that. And see, man, what I've learned is those guys will fight harder for you. Um, on the court, on the field, if you're fighting for them, they know, hey man, this coach is putting his neck on the line for me. I'm gonna go out and bust my butt. You know what I mean? So they can feel it. You know what I mean? So, fortunately, we do have some coaching situations where coaches may be looking at his end game and that's it. But like I said, the players know and they can feel when that coach is in support of them and doing things for them. At the amount. But sometimes we do have within the administration.
That's right. I'm old.
Yeah,
That's right. I'm an old school guy, man. Like I'm, like, you know, you can be hard on somebody, but you still care about them. You know what I'm saying? That's the way. That's the way I was brought up. That's the way I was coached, and I agree. I believe that's what you have to do. You know, I mean, different players you have to coach different ways.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but you know, that's just the way I believe. You know, like if I can trust you on game day, then we're all good. You know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna get playing time. But if I can't trust you, you know,
Exactly.
like if you don't show up to practice all week and then you show up on Friday wanting to play, it's like, well, why ain't I getting playing time? Well, why wouldn't you practice all week? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And going back to the parents thing, I think sometimes the parents have more say so. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, man. I was
Uh,
talking. You're right, man. Not to cut you off. A lot of times the parents play a role, in that, in the recruit process. Sometimes that the coach can't access. You know what I mean?
that's right. If I was a coach, a head coach, I'd want to be a part of a head coach of the school that the administration had my back. You know what I mean? Like the parent may call, you know, and like I understand you want to be involved. I got to understand because you care about your son or whatever, your daughter or whatever. But let the coaches coach. You
And
know,
that's it.
if you don't agree with them, pull them off the side or call them. Well, why did this happen?
That's
You
it.
know, don't badmouth them or bash them because if you talk to one person next to you, then they're going to talk to the person next to them, next to them, next to them, next to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Not to get off subject too much, but I don't know if you remember Rush Prost before he was at I think it was now he was at Coosa Central or whatnot. The school he was at before
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And he was
He was over in Georgia.
was he okay wherever he was at, but he was at a particular school, and I think I remember where the administration was trying to fire him or get rid of him,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and I mean the students and everybody was just in an outpour and an outrage about being let go and fired. You know what I mean?
yeah, oh
So
yeah, yeah. No, I told you wrong. He was at Pale City. That's where he was.
City. That's exactly where that happened at. And the
That's where
students,
he was. Pale City.
yeah, they were in outrage
Yeah,
about
yeah.
administration trying to get rid of him, trying to fire him.
You know, the thing with Russ Pro, yeah, it's crazy, man. The thing with Russ Prost is, a lot of people talk trash about, all the off the field stuff that he had, but he's a winner. You know what I mean?
That's it. That's all.
He's gonna win. He's gonna win ball games.
Yeah,
I mean, he's won what? Let's see. I think he won 4 state championships at Hoover
yeah,
and 2 or 3 at Colquitt. So he has like 6 or 7 state championships.
yeah.
I mean, I understand that I gotta understand, but the thing is, schools want winners,
That's it.
and he's a winner. He's won everywhere he's been.
Yeah,
Um. So, but yeah, like you said, all that when all that happened, man, I think one parent or something got wind of some off the all that stuff that happened a long time ago that ain't happened in years, and
yeah,
they got upset, and then they told another parent, and that parent's like, well, I'm upset too, and
yeah.
it's just crazy.
It is, man. It is. There's so much politics in sports now. It's the sad thing about it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know. But man, I sure enjoyed talking with you, man. And
Yeah, I enjoyed it too, man. Have me on anytime. I'll love it.
yes, sir, man. Getting a chance to fill in, man, and talk about. I learned from you a lot. And we learn from each other. So
That's right.
I really enjoy, man, talking, man. Who you got for the Super Bowl, man? I'll ask you that.
Man, I knew this question was coming. I, man, I want to say the Seahawks,
Yeah,
but man, the Patriots play some defense, man.
yeah, man. Ooh.
I'm gonna have to say the Seahawks close,
Yeah,
real close.
yeah. It's gonna be a good one, ain't it?
That's right.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I'm looking at that offense. That offense looks so Sam Darnold. That looks real good.
And it's crazy, man. Sam Darnold came out of nowhere, man.
Yeah, he did. He did, man. He's patient. He was patient.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
He was patient.
But yeah, man, I enjoyed it, man. And you take it easy.
Yes, sir, man. You take it easy too, man. And definitely, like I said, get back up with you. We do this some other time too, man.
All right, man. That sounds good. See you later.
All right, take it easy, man.
All right, man. See you.